Hello guys, welcome to Tabletop Corner. Today I'm doing a review of the Doctor Who I Am the Master Exterminate expansion pack. This is a very interesting pack. I got a lot of Doctor Who expansions for Christmas, so there's probably going to be a fair few videos coming out about those coming up. In this set, it's quite interesting actually. You get 5 different versions of the Master, of course, and on the back you can see these 5 different versions. You've got these two guys who look almost entirely the same, despite being 13 years apart. You get Missy, you get this funky looking dude, kind of cloaked. I'd like to know the story behind this guy because, I mean, clearly something's happened to the Master. He's been turned into some kind of like monster kind of thing. I would like to know what happens there, but it's very difficult to find old Doctor Who episodes really, so I bet I'll never know. And finally, we've got John Sim, who obviously is the Master that I sort of grew up with. Okay, so yeah, this box has gotten a bit battered, sort of being transported around the house, so I'm going to try and like open it as carefully as possible. I've opened it before and had a look through on Christmas Day just as something to do, so it is technically just a review video, this one, but whatever. So first of all, we have the little card insert that goes around. On the back we have this one here, which could be they could bring this version of the Master back and use like Ben Miller as the actor. You got John Sim, this guy up here, the Neva version, as I like to call him, and then Missy, the most recent, technically, run of the Master. Okay, so we're going to slide that out now and reveal our nice blue box with the Gallifreyan symbol on it. Now this does have cards included, as you can see, so let's crack this open. This was packed for me by Ronnie. Cheers. These are the cards. We'll get into those in a minute. First of all, we're going to look at the sculpts. Now, there is a lot of excess pewter on these sculpts. As you can see from the scythe that is coming out of the leg of the 1974 Master here. Sorry, 1971 Master here. He has a full-on scythe coming out of his leg. What I like to do with these scraps of pewter is I just like to peel them off and then use them as like metal for gas lamps and such. Next, we have the Master from 1984, again with Shin Scythe. This, coming from his hand, is not some kind of hidden blade. It is just excess pewter again. And he's got a sort of shin blade as well. Next up, we have Missy, who has got some kind of knife coming out of her skirt, or her dress, rather. In the bottom corner here, we have Neva. Just going to keep calling him that. He's probably going to be an interesting one to paint up, I'd have thought. He's probably my favourite sculpt because he's just a bit different, isn't he? And on the other side, we have John Sim. And again, these bits are meant to be excess pewter, but I kind of like it. It's kind of like a shackled thing going on. It's a bit far down his arms, but still, it's kind of cool. And in the middle, obviously, we have the plastic bases for all of those figures. So now we're going to get into the actual cards. So first of all, oh, tits, we're going to have to get the into the Time Vortex manual up, aren't we? Okay, so now we're going to get into the cards. So, first of all, they all have wounds, unique, obviously, and most of them have scientific genius. So, first of all, we are doing the 1971 Master. He has 6 movement, 4 resilience, +2 melee dice, +2 shooting dice. He comes with 2 fate tokens, 2 wounds, and he has parry, sneaky, scientific genius, and my stuff. You will obey me. So, you can see it on the back of the card, he has a ranged option of a tissue compression eliminator, which is a 6 range item with 3 shooting dice and the exterminate ability. I think that speaks for itself. We have a fencing blade, which is the close combat option, which gives you 2 melee dice and has piercing. Now, if we have a quick look in the Time Vortex, we can see what piercing does. A character or weapon with this trait counts every hit as 2 hits. Lovely. Next, we have the Scientific Genius ability. Seriously, why didn't they just print all the abilities here? Scientific Genius. If the Master picks up a Vortex node, the value on the back represents how many victory points that node is worth. If transferred to or picked up by another character, the value reverts to 1 VP. Then we're going to have a look at Parry and Sneaky. Unique and wounds we've covered before, so I don't think they're really worth going over again. So, we could have gone over Parry just after we did piercing actually. After rolling the dice during a melee combat, a player can use any jacket battle cards to cancel enemy hits. Jacket battle cards can never produce hits to injure the opponent. Now that's interesting because it basically means that you can get rid of... A melee attack is basically 2 players rolling melee dice and trying to roll the most hits. This means you can block some of their hits. Otherwise, jackets are quite useless in melee combat. So that's very interesting. The other one we wanted to talk about was Sneaky, which is on the back. I do think we've covered this before, but you know, it's worth covering again. A character with this trait may always claim cover even if in the open, which basically means it is slightly harder to hit. He gets one more defensive dice. So that is the 1971 one complete, apart from discussing the card it starts off with, which is You Will Obey Me. Now this is an interesting card. Don't be put off by the sheer amount of text on it. It's for the master only. Once per turn, if at any point the master is within 6 inches of an enemy character, he may attempt to hypnotize them. Roll a combat die. If the result is a hit or a surge, the figure comes under control of the master's faction and is treated as a friendly character. If the die result is a jacket, the target is just shocked. So you definitely produce a result regardless of what you do. It's like a free attack that definitely shocks at least, but you might get a new guy. So that is really good. A hypnotized character remains under control until oh, there's a spelling mistake. Until is suffers a shocked result. A hypnotized character remains under control until it suffers a shock result. After that is removed and in the upkeep phase comes back under... That doesn't read right. After that is removed and in the upkeep phase comes back... That should just say after that is removed in the upkeep phase. In the upkeep phase, after that is removed, it comes back under the control of the original faction. Does not affect special characters or incorporeals, but affects robots, which is interesting. He can hypnotize robots, but not special characters. Very interesting. So basically, you get a free attempt at hypnotizing or shocking a character. You will still get your attack. It definitely gives you some kind of result, and it's pretty good. I mean, it's permanent hypnosis as well until the character is shocked, which is pretty cool, to be honest. So yeah, I really like that card. I think that card is going to be what makes the Master really good. I think the only one who doesn't have that is potentially the best one without it. So let's have a look. Right, next we've got the 1984, did I say? 1981? I can't remember the years on these two. 1984. Again, 6 movement, 4 resilience, +2 melee dice, +2 shooting dice, 2 fate tokens, 2 wounds, unique, hold back, sneaky, scientific genius, and my stuff. So the only thing we need to look at there is that hold back ability, which is an interesting one, which needed to be clarified in the actual FAQ. So if you are playing this game and you don't know what a rule is, make sure you do check out the FAQs in the Facebook group, because it is going to save you a lot of grief. The hold back ability: if within engaging distance, a character with this trait can move up to 2 inches in any direction to avoid an engagement. Now, let me just clarify that for you. Now, I can't explain how stroke when that occurs now, because the internet isn't really working in my house, which is why I'm recording these videos today anyway. But basically, I believe what it means is if a character would declare a melee attack on you, you can move 2 inches so that you can't be melee attacked. I think that's how it works. It's it's not great wording, truth be told. The next one is the Navar Master, which is, you know, one that I quite like the look of, as I've mentioned. He has got 4 movement, so he's a bit slow. Has he got less resilience as well? Did they have 4 resilience? Yeah. Basically, he's a couple of stats down on the other ones. Still comes with 2 fate tokens, though. Has wounds 2, unique, forgettable, immune to pain, scientific genius, and the You Will Obey Me card as well. So again, we're going to have to look up all of those abilities. Forgettable, immune to pain. Well, just those 2. Forgettable and immune to pain. Immune to pain. This character ignores any results of shocked on the damage table. That's pretty interesting. What was the other ability again? Forgettable. At the beginning of its move subphase, a character with this special trait can double its movement if it is not in the line of sight of any enemy character. Bit of a weird one, but very interesting nonetheless. That makes him at 8 speed. Doesn't really rectify these dodgy stats when compared to the other ones though. Next we've got my personal favourite. Now he has 8 movement, 4 resilience, +1 melee dice, 0 shooting dice. He has wounds 3 and also has 3 fate tokens, which is the first time I've ever seen this, which is pretty good. He is also unique. He has all terrain, unstable, and bloodthirst. So we're going to have a look at some of them. But first of all, he has slightly different weapons. By the way, these two have hand weapons rather than fencing blades. Completely forgot to mention that, but DM. He also has the hand weapon. He has regeneration bolts, which are 6 range weapons with 4 dice, integral, and energy. The unstable ability is written down here. Whenever the master shoots, roll 2 combat dice. If the result is 2 surges, he must shoot at the closest friendly character within line of sight. Ugh, that is unstable, isn't it? His other abilities, Bloodthirst and All Terrain, so we'll look those up. All Terrain. A character with this trait ignores obstacles during the movement subphase. That was somewhat straightforward. Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst. This character must always engage an enemy character when possible. Okay, simple enough. This guy could be pretty gnarly. Finally, we're going to get to Missy. So Missy is back to the 642, and actually she got 0 shooting dice unlike the first 2. She's back to 2 fate tokens, she wounds 2, unique, hold back, all hope is lost, scientific genius, and my stuff. Now we have discussed all hope is lost in the previous video. All hope is lost. Once per game, a faction with 1 or more characters with this trait can exchange all its combat cards for the same number of fate markers, which is a pretty good move. She has Sonic Umbrella, which has a 6 range 4 shooting dice or close combat for 5 melee dice, which is quite impressive. They both have restraint. Restraint. Any exterminated result on the damage table can be changed to shocked as a result of using a weapon with this trait. Wait, what? Any exterminated result on the damage table can be changed to shocked as a result of using a weapon with this trait. Okay, no clarification on how it can, but whatever. And then we also have the My Stuff Tempest Fugit. Now, if you aren't caught up on the latest series of Doctor Who, please do look away now because there is a bit of a spoiler on this card. This is the Tempest Fugit. Exhaust this card to roll 1 combat die when your opponent plays an adventure card. On a score of surge, that adventure card is discarded with no effect. If the adventure card can affect Missy or the master directly, the card is discarded on a flak jacket instead. So that's very interesting. So that is the entirety of the master set. I think it's a very interesting set because it gives you a number of characters that are just slightly different, but also some stuff that's just very different. And I think they're very interesting. I think you've got a lot of different things you can do with these guys. I think these are going to team up with other sort of evil factions very well. I think they would team up with them with each other very well, but obviously since they're unique, you can't do that. The master set will set you back £22 on the Warlord Games website, and there is plenty of other master support if you want to play master sort of led factions and armies and stuff. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do check out our other videos on Doctor Who miniatures and subscribe for the further videos that we plan to bring out in the near future. Thanks again for watching, and goodbye. A character... Good focus, S. Fred, stop sneezing. Fred, seriously, stop sneezing.